Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV and, may I like to say, Chelsea Fan TV. Yes, you heard it. GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV have collabed and will be bringing you guys summer transfer window news. Now, if you don't know about me, obviously I'm the host of GNA TV, and what we tend to do is pretty much do daily, sometimes I'll say daily, but most of the times we do daily streams on news in and around Chelsea Football Club, review it, talk about it. But we're also going to be bringing the breaking news as well. Breaking news will be given to you guys as soon as it comes. Sorry about my lagging at the moment. I don't know what's going on with the stream. If you see me and I'm looking a bit crackly, sorry for it. I can't do nothing about it at the moment. So if you can hear me, just bear with me, and I'm hoping it will sort itself out. But yes, it is the first show where we've collabed with Chelsea Fan TV. Make sure you guys are smashing the like buttons as well. Lots and lots and lots to discuss in and around Chelsea Football Club, as there always is on a daily basis. Breaking news came from today that Petr Cech has left Chelsea, for is leaving Chelsea Football Club on the 30th of June. So lots and lots to go through. We've got Kounde talks, we've got Ligt talks, we've got Dembele talks, we've got a little bit of Sterling talks, we've also got Ziyech talks, we've got, you name it. There's a number of areas that we'll be reviewing across this show today. But guys, do one thing for me right now. Make sure that you're smashing that like button. Please get them liked up. Let's try and get this over 100 likes. I will open up the lines a little bit later, give you guys half hour to come in and have your say as well. But share it on your socials as well. Get these likes up, not only on GNA TV, but also on Chelsea Fan TV as well. Go and subscribe to each of these channels as well. Great channels. And before we move forward, let's cue the GNA intro. Yes, people, welcome back to GNA TV. Like I said, guys, if you are seeing me looking a little bit laggy at the moment, I'm sorry. I do not know what's going on with my current Wi-Fi at the moment. It's usually pretty decent, but it might be just because we're streaming off 2 channels at the moment. But big up to every single one of you guys. Dexter's in the house as well. Matt, big up to you. Shaka, big up to you, my man. Gary, he's upset that Cech's going. Concierge of crime. I know. I don't know what's happened around here. It's gone pure dark around here as well, like it's going to rain. I don't know what's going on. Big up to Ilias. Big up to Tobago as well. Surfs. Every single person that is currently tuned in, either on the Chelsea Fan TV channel or on GNA TV as well. But we are going to start off with news in and around what we heard this morning on Petr Cech, guys. Big up to Carl as well. And I can see some of the Blues Fan TV guys coming through as well. Big up to you guys as well. Christian, nice to see you. Why? Don't understand why he's leaving. He's a little bit upset as well. Yeah, go over to that channel as well, bro. Go and support it. A gal's focus on your plummeting. Yeah, see you next season. Everyone's looking forward to that as well. Devin, big up to you. Rodriguez, is it slower because you're streaming? Maybe. I don't know. I genuinely don't know why it's doing that. It's never done this before, so apologies if it's doing that. But you won't be seeing big images of me anyway, because we will be bringing up news to go through. And we're going to start with the news in and around Petr Cech as well, guys. So we'll start off with the breaking on Petr Cech. Just let me know if you can hear me, though, yeah? Make sure, just let me know in the chat if you can actually hear me and I'm clear, because at the moment, it does seem to be a little bit frizzy. I don't know why. I can't really do much about it other than continue the show and try and sort it out. But these are teething things that we'll sort out moving forward. Not a problem. Obviously, Fabrizio Romano came out with this statement, along with Chelsea Football Club and many other tier ones, basically confirming that Petr Cech's leaving Chelsea with immediate effect. It has been a huge privilege to perform this role at Chelsea for the past 3 years with the club under new ownership. I feel now it's the right time for me to step aside, and Todd Boehly's revolution continues. That really came as a surprise to many, should we say, because I didn't expect to wake up in the morning and have to deal with Petr Cech with news that Petr Cech's going to leave. I know that he was having conversations with Todd Boehly about his future. We were made aware of it as well, which is fine. But it was very much again a big sort of a big surprise. I mean, the Bruce Buck news caught me off guard. The Marina news also caught me slightly off guard as well. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And this is the official statement from Chelsea Football Club as well. We'll bring that up as we speak here. This is Petr Cech to leave technical performance advisor role. And as it goes into it, it basically states that Chelsea Football Club today announced that Petr Cech's technical and performance advisor will leave his role effective from June the 30th. Since the appointment 3 years ago, Cech has provided advice and guidance on all football and performance matters throughout the club, while strengthening the links between our men's and academies teams. Cech said it has been a huge privilege to perform this role at Chelsea for the past 3 years with the club under new ownership. I feel now this is the right time for me to step aside. I am pleased that the club is now in an excellent position with the new owners, and I am confident of the future of the success of both on and off the pitch. Todd Boehly, the chairman and co-controlling owner, said Petr Cech is an important member of the Chelsea family. We understand his decision to step away and thank him for his contributions as an advisor and his commitment to the club and to our community. We wish him the best. Now, my question to you guys in the chat is, what are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about Petr Cech being stepped down? A lot of people are trying to understand why he's left. And some people feel that it may be to do with that he's not got as much of an influence, which is one of the tweets that came out on Twitter, which we're going to review as well. He has done some good things, right? He brought Mendy to this football club. You know, he brought Mendy to this football club. And to be honest, solved an issue that was an issue for Chelsea for a while, you know. So the fact that he's managed to bring in a goalie of his, let's say he's got to bring in a goalie that no one knew about, and now to this day, he's our number one, and it's kind of solved an area for us. Is great, to be fair. Part of the reason, and we're going to go into it next. Actually, there was a comment here on more on the Petr Cech thing. Was that, let's get it up? Is that basically Petr Cech decided to step down his role as technical performance director after losing more and more influence since Todd Boehly stepped in. Now, one of the things that seemed to be coming alight, shall we say, across all of this is that apparently Marina Graverskaya and Petr Cech both wanted Romelu Lukaku to stay for another season. Now, one of the things that we've noticed already with Todd Boehly as the new owner in such a short space of time is that it seems like he really wants to back Thomas Tuchel. And it's kind of a thing of, if Thomas Tuchel wants it, yes. If he doesn't, get rid. And the fact that Petr Cech and Marina had maybe a different idea, which was overruled by Todd Boehly, maybe they thought it from their position that it's from his position that maybe he won't have as big of an influence in this club as he would like to, and hence maybe why it's made him to sort of make the decision to force himself out of the door and maybe look to go elsewhere, or maybe not. Maybe he just goes on and does what he does. But you know, this is not on Todd Boehly. You know, this is not Todd Boehly sacking Petr Cech. This is Petr Cech, from what we're being told, making the decision to leave Chelsea. So, you know, at the end of the day, I saw a lot of people on social media, on Twitter, complaining about why it's Todd Boehly let him go, this, that, and the other. It's not the case. You know, it's not the case. And for the club to come out with that statement and make that clear, I think we need to respect that decision. But it also begs the question, doesn't it? It also begs that real big question for me is, is there the potential that we may already have a DOF available already or set up in line? Because to lose Marina Graverskaya, Bruce Buck and Petr Cech, that is pretty much the system, the infrastructure that was originally set up, being ripped out of Chelsea's hierarchy or Chelsea Football Club completely in such a short space of time. And I know Todd Boehly's took on the negotiations element of Chelsea, you know, and he's working close with Thomas Tuchel to get things done, which we are still waiting to see how that pans out. But maybe it's more of a thing of that they want to get stuck in early, sooner rather than later. And we know that there's been links to different sporting directors, across Europe, Obviously, we've got Mike Edwards. We've also got Paul Mitchell. I say Phil Mitchell, Paul Mitchell as well, as we know, obviously know of him from Monaco as well, the sporting director of Monaco. We've been linked to them too heavily, and that seems to not be blowing away as well. Is there something already in place with one of them, which is maybe false Cech's decision to pull away? Maybe he's starting to realise that his position isn't maybe as important as it was maybe under Roman. There is a lot of things that are not been answered that will need to be answered, and that it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see what Todd Boehly does in this short space of time. We already know that there's a lot that needs to be sorted out from the signing side, players, contracts, etc. But now we've also kind of ripped out the heart of the infrastructure. And that's left a gaping gap for Todd Boehly to now have to try and sort. So that's going to be really interesting to see what happens, in the upcoming days as well. Big up to everyone that's in the chat already. Big up to every single one of you guys. Sorry about my stream. My lagging at the moment. Again, like I said, it might be a bit of teething problems because I'm streaming off two streams. So at the moment, as you can see me, I'm on GNA TV, but we have also collabed with Chelsea Fan TV as well. So make sure that you go and subscribe and follow them as well. Get their likes up on both, guys. We should just try and get this over 100 likes as possible. We've got 142 people in here as we speak as well. So big up to every single one of you guys. I'm going to go through the chat and just see what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on the whole breaking news, really. So let's see what we've got here. I don't feel bad. Change is good. And again, if Petr Cech wants to leave, I'm cool and respect it. It's his choice. But again, I don't want him to go. And maybe that's the same feeling as what Todd Boehly had to go in terms of wanting him to stay. It was kind of made very clear that Todd Boehly wanted to have Petr Cech around. And I don't know, maybe it is, maybe we just need to accept that maybe Petr Cech just didn't see the vision. Maybe he just didn't see where this club was going, not in a bad way, but maybe from his side of things of how involved he's going to be. And that could be a massive thing. This rate, Todd Boehly will play at centre-back is what Rodrigo's saying. What, because we've got no people coming in? Cech's walking away isn't a bad thing, is what Wisdom's saying. We need a new look at Chelsea. This is a long time coming. Nervous, excited, and all that as well. Yeah, it is. It's exciting. It should be exciting times for Chelsea fans, but at the same time, it is in a way scary times as well, because you just don't know what's going to happen. We generally do not know who's coming through the door, who's going to be the new sporting director. There's so many areas of uncertainty in this football club at the moment, which we're all waiting to find out and see and hear and acknowledge and kind of understand. So let's see how and what happens moving forward. Bit up to a gal in the house. He said, Gem, a Clung legend leaving their club is always fishy. It's not a very good sign for you guys. But apparently everything to you, a gal, is not a good sign anyway. So if we sign a player, it's not a good sign. If someone leaves, it's not a good sign. I don't really hear you say anything good about us. And that's cool, bro. That is cool. You're an Arsenal fan. We can take that. We can definitely take that. So big up to you, though, Agal. Nice to see you in the house, my bro. We're currently on 40 likes with 93 people on GNA TV at the moment. So let's get this over 50, guys. As usual, if you haven't hit the likes, please do so. On the Chelsea Fan TV side of things, there's 72 of you guys here. We've only got 31 likes as well, guys. Let's try and close that gap to 100 as well. Big up to every single one of you guys as well. So please hit that thumbs if you can. Please subscribe to both of these channels as well. Carl Mackins says, I can back the fact he wanted to support Tuchel, but Cech was a key part of the club. True, 100%. He was a key part of the club. But let's not forget, Carl, this was a decision made from Todd Boehly. This wasn't a decision made, this was a decision made from Petr Cech for him to leave. This wasn't Todd Boehly forcing Petr Cech out the door. That's not what we've been told it was. And I'm pretty sure if it was the case that Todd Boehly didn't want him to stay, then it would have been the same thing as what we saw with maybe Marina and Bruce Buck in Everton. With the Marina thing, it kind of made it look like she kind of got forced out of her position and in many ways looked like she was going to leave anyway. But with Petr Cech, it's an interesting one. It is an interesting one. Maybe we'll learn more at a later stage on it. I don't think we will. I think they'll keep it limited to what we're actually reading at this point. Big up to Andreas in the house as well. Big up Blue Brothers agree. I think either Edwards or Mitchell already agreed behind the scenes. Otherwise, it makes no sense. And that's why I was saying it earlier on social media. I said the same thing. It doesn't make sense to completely gutter out your board. You know, literally, it's just Todd Boehly and Tuchel. You know, and Scott McLaughlin, who I still don't know has got a job. How is Scott McLaughlin still head of scouting, the head of scouting department at Chelsea? I genuinely don't get that. Like, if Todd Boehly is very serious on changing the system and the infrastructure of this football club, then Scott McLaughlin cannot be a head of scouts based on the evidence of what we've seen, unless he's willing to adapt to the new infrastructure and the system. But then there still has to be some confidence in him. And from what we've seen in the past, yes, we brought in some good players. Don't get me wrong, but there has been a lot of bad scouting decisions. You know, the scouting department are as much to blame in this as well. Where's Johnny? Get him on. Yeah, I love Johnny, man. Johnny, big up to Johnny as well. Cech wouldn't just leave if he thought it was a decision that would have left Chelsea in the worst way. And that's the thing, Chelsea fans, I mean, you're right. He wouldn't have just packed up and left. You know, they would have had to have some sort of meaning behind him going out. Maybe there was, and this is why I keep saying, maybe there is something behind the scenes that is set up and ready to move forward. You know, that's what I believe anyway. You know, some people are worrying for the worst. Some people think, fair enough, it is what it is. He's chose to leave. Tuchel has full control now. I think Tuchel's had full control ever since Todd Boehly's come through the door and made that clear. You know, I really do think that that's the case as well. Yet nothing but doubt everywhere is what we're seeing. It's true. Big up to Matt as well. He says, let's get the likes up. He's right. Let's get the likes up, guys, because like I said, we are airing both on GNA TV right now and Chelsea Fan TV. Maybe not be aware of it because you guys might be an either or, but if you go to either or channel, you'll see that we are currently aired at the moment. Ignore my lagging at the moment. I ain't got the most clearest of image of me on the picture at the moment. Something that I'm gonna have to sort of look into. It might be just because I'm streaming off of two channels. Usually my Wi-Fi is no problem. I mean, I'm looking at myself now and I look clear, but when I'm looking at it on YouTube, it's a little bit fuzzy. So sorry about that, but it's not going to stop us from bringing you guys news, and that's the most important thing, right? Dusty Rhodes says the same people that call for Cech after Lukaku story are the same ones that are crying as well. I do hear that. And going on to what Dusty Rhodes says there, it perfectly invites it into the next little thing on Petr Cech. We are going to talk a bit of players soon, guys, as well, so make sure you stay tuned. Petr Cech and Marina wanted to keep Romelu Lukaku at Chelsea, and that was the early difference of opinion with Todd Boehly. Boehly wants to coach to be at the heart of the transfers decisions, like Liverpool. And it goes back to what I've been saying for the last 20 minutes. His lack of influence. And maybe that's the same part of why Marina maybe got pushed aside. Yeah, she'd negotiated with certain players that have now gone south. I'll give you an example in Jules Kounde. That seems to have gone completely opposite now because it was Marina that was negotiating it at the time. But it seems like the influence that they had in the Roman era, or the control, or the element of control that they had in the Roman era has been limited by Todd Boehly, and that's why he's put himself on the forefront. You know, that's why he's put himself on the forefront, and that is a interesting thing. You know, interesting thing for a director, say a guy, an owner, to come into Chelsea in such a short space of time. I knew there was going to be change. Don't get me wrong. I knew there was going to be change within Chelsea, but to do it as quickly as he's done it, is absolutely a lot of people would say crazy and mad, and I fully understand it, and I can understand why people would be slightly worried because there's no certainty around it. But I do believe that Todd Boehly, being the negotiator, the businessman that he has been, he has owned sporting companies, the LA Dodgers and sporting teams out of Chelsea, will have some sort of plan of action. There's no way in hell that you could feel that they would leave this gaping gap hole in the Chelsea board for too long. And I think they're probably doing a bit of everything. I do think they're doing a bit of multitasking. You know, players in contracts, because there's a couple of players on contracts that are nearly running out of years left. Talking to sporting directors, who's going to be the one if they haven't made it clear already. They've got a lot going on, man. That's what Rodrigo feels. He feels like he's done good. The gem, the Fabrizio Romano tweet about Dembele now. Oh, is he? We'll have to have a look at that very shortly as well. We are going to talk Dembele soon. Just going to finish off on Petr Cech, and then we're going to dive into... I can't see that Fabrizio Romano comment. Maybe because my internet at the moment is being eaten up. But we are going to move away from Petr Cech and start talking about the players, guys. Jazzaby said Sporting Director will have their team as well, so Cech's role will be diminished, is what Jazzaby said. Maybe they're just going to amalgamate it into one. Maybe you're right, bro. Maybe you are right. If your opinion doesn't matter, then it's okay to leave. Cech is a good man and a legend, but a new DOF doesn't need him. The new DOF would work with Neil Bath, Tuchel and Boehly on recruitment. And Vic, you probably got it bang on, mate. You really have. When you think about potentially why he's made the decision to leave, it's probably why we you know, what we said at the beginning, just the lack of influence in the club, the lack of actual control that he maybe had under Roman is just not there anymore. And maybe that's why he made the decision. Maybe Todd Boehly still wanted him around for other things, but maybe not to the point of having the control that he had under Roman. And that's what I'm trying to get at. Maybe it's just one of them things. So we have to see what happens. And the more that sort of breaks, and if we learn any more on it, we'll definitely review it on both GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. But we do need to move ahead, guys, because we've got so much to go through. And I do want to open up the lines as well. Okay, interesting. So this is what's great about doing live streams. Why I'm live, things seem to happen with tweets. And we are due to speak about Dembele at some point in the show as well. And we are going to open up the lines. I have found that now. So thank you for passing that on to me, chat. Big up to every single one of you. But at the moment, we have 96 people on the Chelsea Fan TV channel at the moment. Only 47 likes, guys. Let's get this over. Let's get this over 50 likes. We should be even on 100 of you guys. Big up to every single one of you guys at Chelsea Fan TV as well. From the GNA TV side, we've got 170 of you guys tuned in. Big up to every single one of the GNA TV community here as well. Make sure, guys, that we get these likes up as well. We've only got 56 likes. We should be on our way to 100 likes as well. Let's, on both channels, get this over 100 likes today, guys. That will be the aim. First show. I know there's a little bit of teething problems with my image at the moment. I will sort that out. But first show. And yeah, we move forward from that as well. Just to finish off on the Petr Cech news, obviously we did get this tweet from Fabrizio Romano. I have seen your super chat there, Fato. We'll get into that next. Chelsea's owner Boehly is exploring options for the new director to replace Marina. One of the many candidates is former fullback Maxwell, who was originally already an assistant sporting director at PSG. Boehly has 3 to 4 options on the list, including Michael Edwards, and no decision has been made yet. So that's coming from Fabrizio Romano this morning. He feels that Chelsea haven't got anything in place yet, or are not aware of it. Now, we do say this quite a lot, but we do tend to get spoon-fed what we need to hear. And I do feel that sometimes we are, a lot more ahead of where maybe they're letting us know that we're at, which is fine. It's cool. But sometimes I feel that you have to kind of make your own image, of what you may think's happening. And I just feel that with the decision of Petr Cech, Marina and Buck going so quickly, they will have an idea of who they want. Maybe have had discussions with that individual who's probably very interested. And it may just be down to the finer measures of money and finances. I don't know. But we'll have to see what happens at a later stage on that. Fator with a donation. Big up to you, this Gem. Krusty's Insta post, 24 hours stream party. Love this combo stream. Thank you, bro. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. Krusty is Andreas Christensen, guys, if you're not aware of that. It's a personal joke that me and Fatal have usually on my channel on GNA TV as well. So big up to you, and thank you for the donations as well, guys. Sorry, Fatal as well. Appreciate it. I want football players in. We are lagging behind Spurs, Arsenal. Well, that brings it in perfectly to where we're going next, because we are going to talk about where we're at currently at the moment, but we're going to start more closer to home. We're going to start with the news around Marcos Alonso, because the last news we heard around Marcos Alonso was that Barcelona are struggling to register these players. We know that they're currently struggling financially to get signed off. Apparently today, they're going to get signed off for around 230 or 40 odd million euros, or they will get 10% of the TV rights or something like that, I was reading. So eventually they are going to have this money. And a lot of people worried about the players that maybe had left. People like Marcos Alonso. Some feel that Marcos Alonso isn't the, he needs to go. And I'm one of them. I've always said throughout the season that Marcos Alonso, well done for what you did at Chelsea. But there's a time when we need to move forward. And if we're going to move forward and be successful and go and challenge and, be that driving team or force that we used to be, especially domestically, I'm talking about, which is nearly 6 and 7 years to the last time we won it, then we need to start improving in areas across the pitch. And the fact that Marcos Alonso is an okay player is not good enough, because I always explain to you guys that the level from here always drops to here. And we saw it last year. The people that came in to replace him, Ben Chilwell, Alonso comes in, average performances. All right, he had a couple of good games. Real Madrid away was a big one. But overall, the levels just drop. We lost Reece James. We had no one to replace it. We had a couple of injuries in midfield. We couldn't cope with it. We asked Ruben Loftus-Cheek to play there. He couldn't do it. We was asking people to play in positions that it's not them. And it's important that we get rid of the deadwood. And for me, Marcos Alonso is one of them. But at the moment, Marcos Alonso's agent, Fali Ramadini, is in London to negotiate with Chelsea to try and find a way for his client to join Barcelona this summer. I just assumed that personal terms are agreed and that there was an agreement supposedly on a rough fee. Maybe not. Maybe they're here now to renegotiate. I don't know. Maybe Barcelona's stance on what they could afford changes. We're going to talk about Kounde a bit later on. There's a lot that's still to come of this, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Guys, there's still at 90 to 100 of you on the Chelsea Fan TV page. Big up to every single one of you guys. Keep smashing them likes as well. We'll open up the lines and allow you guys an opportunity to come in. And this is something, again, we're going to be doing more frequently, covering all breaking news, bringing on special guests, people that can give us a bit of an insight, allowing you guys to come on as well as the panel, getting involved, give us your thoughts on any of the topics that we're speaking today. There's a lot of things that we will be doing throughout these shows as well. So there you go. There's the news on Marcos Alonso. I'm not going to bore you to death on that one because it's boring news, isn't it? We don't care about Alonso. We generally don't care, do we? But I want to move on to Hakim Ziyech because it's becoming quite interesting with him. It seems like he's certain to leave Chelsea. And there is a tweet which Absolute Chelsea put out, which was from @86_Longo, Daniel Longo, who says that Hakim Ziyech has proposed to AC Milan directors. The Rossoneri have told Ziyech's agents they are very interested, but only with the right conditions. They are ready to offer 5 million loan fee with an obligation to buy of around 20 to 25 million euros. Now, I think that's pretty cheap. And quite frankly, I think that's probably too cheap for Hakim Ziyech. We bought him for around 35 million. Maybe I'm wrong, actually. But 25 to 20 million euros is pushing you into the 20 sterlings. Below the 20 sterlings. I feel Chelsea are going to want at least 20 to 25 sterling easily, which means we're going to push this price up to around 30 odd million at least on an obligation to buy. Who knows? It looks like Hakim Ziyech will leave. I don't see him staying in the Premier League. I do see him going abroad. I don't feel that the Premier League suits him. I've said this throughout the season. He's a player that needs a bit of time on the ball. He's very limited in his ability. He can't take players on. He was meant to bring the creative element to Chelsea. Didn't do that for me. He wasn't good enough, if that makes sense. He wasn't good enough for Chelsea. Some people may feel that he deserves another chance. He's been here 2 seasons. Yeah, if he's one of the guys, like for me, out of all the forwards that we have, he's definitely one of the 2 or 3 that has to go. Not in any order. And AC Milan makes sense, but if Chelsea can negotiate a player for it at the same time, it'd be great. It really would be great. It's a perfect deal to get him off the books. I'm assuming you're talking about Ziyech. Jorginho leaving? No, we have not had any news on Jorginho leaving as of yet. Where is that Bottle FC account? Selim is what Sosa's saying as well. He's had enough of him. Had enough of Hakim Ziyech as well. Cut our losses with him, bro. Get him gone is what Gavman is saying on Chelsea Fan TV as well. AK is linked because Tuchel is desperate for a left foot. We're going to talk about him in a bit as well. So more news that will come a bit later on in regards to Hakim Ziyech as well at a later stage. We'll definitely look to review that as it comes. What I will do though, and I don't know if I can do it from here. Oh no, I'll do it another time. I'm still learning how to use 2 channels at once. We're going to move on though, and what we're going to move on to next is Jules Kounde. Jules Kounde, which is right here, because earlier on today we had a tweet from @Sport, which is the Diaro Sport, and they've said that Sevilla fully expected a bid from Chelsea for Jules Kounde by now. But the Blues are prioritising other targets, and the situation is becoming a problem for Sevilla as we want to get on with their own business. Well, I'm going to say it as I feel when it comes to Jules Kounde. I've always wanted him, and I know everyone that knows me on GNA TV knows how much I've wanted Jules Kounde. Whatever people on Chelsea Fan TV are probably new to it, but I've always been quite a big fan of getting this player. I believe that he's versatile. I believe that he offers a lot. It allows us Tuchel to switch systems quite comfortably. And one of the things that we missed massively last season was players that could be versatile, players that could adapt, players that could offer different options. Someone gets injured, maybe they could cover it. But at a good level. And Jules Kounde was one for me that I always thought was going to happen. And he wanted Chelsea last season. We know why that didn't work, because Monchi and Sevilla themselves wanted the full release clause price. Chelsea did offer a price for Jules Kounde, but didn't want to be held to ransom. And it didn't go through. Jules Kounde ended up staying for another year. But it was talk that he was always destined to come Chelsea. Even while he was playing for Seville, it was talks that he was going to be a Chelsea player. And it gets to this summer window, and you're sitting there and you're waiting, and obviously we lose Marina, and now we're hearing that Barcelona are now interested, and that Chelsea are not willing to bid where Sevilla want to be. There is a comment that we are going to go to next. No, not next. I haven't brought it up, but there was a tweet that came out earlier on. I can't remember who it was from, but basically saying that Jules Kounde's Sevilla are looking for Jules Kounde's full release clause, which is around 80 million euros. That is too much, and maybe why Chelsea haven't came back or contacted them or opened renegotiations with them is because of Sevilla again. They want to do their own business and get things done, but they're not willing to just offload a player that's clearly willing to leave them for the last 2 seasons. They're trying to force Chelsea to spend stupid serious money on him as well, when from what we've been told, a 51 or 52 million sterling bid had been put down for Jules Kounde already, which they weren't happy with. They wanted a little bit more. But now they've gone and pushed it. And now we've just found out that it's the case of that they want 80 mil. And I don't really blame Chelsea again. I wanted to moan at the fact that we wasn't getting it done. But then when I start reading into it and we start getting tweets like this, and you're hearing that Sevilla are holding out for his full release clause, it doesn't make any sense to me how Barcelona are getting him. How Barcelona are affording Jules Kounde? Because supposedly Sevilla want full cash, but then you're reading from the Barca journals across Twitter that they're willing to take a player plus cash. And, look, it's still up in the air with him, and things can change in a week. Let's be serious. We could put that offer in that's close to what Sevilla want, maybe not the full offer. And Jules Kounde from his side may push for that to get done. And he may be a Chelsea player. He may become a Chelsea player still. These things can all be granted. But at the moment, from where we stand on him. Not many tier ones have come out and said that Jules Kounde wants Barca. But what they have said is Chelsea haven't contacted them, haven't gone back with an approved offer, haven't, done what's needed to be required to get it done. And that's the real interesting part of it. Maybe Chelsea are hanging out and Sevilla are using Barcelona to kind of force Chelsea's hands. I feel there's a lot of strategies going on with this. And the only one that's suffering and probably getting more frustrated about it is Jules Kounde. Jules Kounde is probably sitting there pulling his hair out at the moment. Literally pulling his hair out. Chelsea Fan TV, let's have a quick look. We've got over 85 of you guys here. 64 likes though, guys. Let's get this over 75 likes, guys. We can easily get this done. Let's try and do that as quickly as possible. On the GNA TV side, we've got 203 of you guys watching. Big up to every single one of you guys, the GNA TV community. Big up. We've only got 71 likes though, guys. We should be on 100 by now as well. I'm sorry about the camera fit. I know I'm not as clear as I usually am, but we'll sort that out for the next show. So, yeah, guys, continue smashing the likes as well. Let's get these likes up on both sides. Like I said, the aim is to get this over 100 likes, please. So let's try and get that done. Let's see what some of you guys are saying on this. If we get Ake instead of Kounde, I'm done. I honestly don't get it, Pure Mix. Why are we linked with Ake? Apparently, Thomas Tuchel was a massive fan of him. For me, it don't make no sense, bro. Like, what? It generally doesn't make any sense to me why we would go for a player that doesn't even start for Man City. Second fiddle. Sits on the bench. Good. We shouldn't be held hostage. He's a good player who I rate, but there's other targets we can get for less. That also fits the system, is what Josh is saying as well. I agree, Josh. And you know how much of a fan I am of Kounde. I would argue it to the ground, actually even blame the board for wasting time and not getting it done. But this is very hard to do at this moment in time, because if we know what Sevilla can do and what they're about, they can make Chelsea hold, they can hold Chelsea to ransom. We've seen it in the past, and you can't do that with this new owner, potentially. Maybe, the way the new owners are moving at the moment, they are looking to probably negotiate some decent offers. And if you're going to hold them to ransom, I don't see it happening. I don't see you getting anywhere with it. So, going to be interesting to see on the Jules Kounde forefront as well. We're going to move on to, funny enough, this comment from Vince on Matthijs de Ligt quickly as well. Matthijs de Ligt is the priority for Chelsea's defence, and probably part of the reason why Kounde isn't having the full attention at the moment. Keep an eye also on Nathan Ake. I don't get the Nathan Ake thing. I really don't. I really don't get it. I'm going to put a part out saying, I ask you guys actually, do you want Ake to Chelsea? Question mark. So there we go, guys. I'll put a poll out. All right. I'm gonna do it on both. Actually, I can't do it on the Blues Fan TV side. So I'll put the question mark in there as well for you guys to answer. Whether it comes up on your side, let me know. But there is a poll out there now. Get voting. I want to see what people's mindsets are and their thoughts are on this. Big up to Sir Timo Werner. Says big up to Sammy as well. Big up to you. Bluey MCFC, big up to you. David Shoring. Well, the link will be in the chat very shortly, mate. I will make sure we get the link in the chat very shortly for you guys to come in, have your say. But yeah, it looks like Matthijs de Ligt is another player that's being linked to Chelsea. Again, the issue with him is money, isn't it? Again, Chelsea are offering a player plus cash. And that's what we've heard today from Simon Phillips, because he's saying that Chelsea are looking to pay 43 million sterling plus Timo Werner for de Ligt. Juventus are asking for around 55 million plus Werner. Hopefully we can come to a compromise. So I feel that 40 to 45 mil cash and then Werner on top is fair. But then we bought Werner for 50 mil. And based on what he's done for the last 2 seasons, he's probably lost a good 10, 15 mil. So potentially 50 to 55 plus Werner makes sense for Juventus. And probably in hindsight, when you look at it, is the right thing to do. But Chelsea will negotiate as less as they can from the cash element. Paying 40 million sterling to lose a player is good, but providing you're going to replace that player, and we're going to get to the forwards next as well, because we are giving a forward to them to bring in a centre back. So it solves the issue, one issue, but then adds to the issue of having to replace the forward. And at the moment, we already know that Sterling is looking keen. Dembele is up in the air. Rafinha wants Barcelona. Richarlison wants 50 odd million. Are these the type of players that we should specifically be looking at as Chelsea? I'm not too sure. I'm genuinely not too sure at the moment. The poll is out at the moment on Nathan Ake. So we've got 22% of people that are saying yes to Nathan Ake and 76 saying no. That is still currently going on as we speak at the moment as well. It's interesting to know. I was expecting most of you guys to say no. I just wanted to see what the overall full feel was with it as well. So Matthijs de Ligt seems to be the guy that Chelsea are looking at as the main centre-back priority this season. My next question to you guys on this, and we'll close this poll, let's end this poll, is, let's do it quickly. De Ligt to Chelsea for 55 million cash and Werner. Yes. Let's put this in there. There you go. Answer that one for me. Answer that one for me, guys, as well. It's annoying that I can't put it on the Chelsea fan side of things. I'd like to have you guys to be able to get involved as well. But what I've done is I've put that in there as well. I've just commented it in the chat for you guys. We might be able to somehow do a poll where you can all see it in the long run. But there we go on Matthijs de Ligt. We'll come back to that poll in a second. But we do need to move swiftly on to the forward line. And we're going to start with Dembele, because Fabrizio Romano again today came out about just over an hour ago saying that Dembele's agent Sissoko is in Barcelona. Key week to decide the future of Dembele. After many rumours, it will be discussed soon. Sissoko's in Barcelona today, as per what Gerard Romero said, who is one of the tier ones of Barca, shall we say, and giving reports. Talks will enter into the key stages. Now, that sounds like potentially he may be looking to compromise. He's made it very clear that he wants to stay there. He wants to be at Barcelona. And it seems like Xavi wants him there as well. But that just tells me that we're just second fiddle again. And apparently we have proposed something, or we've spoken to him. Apparently he feels very underwhelmed by the offer that's been given from Chelsea to him. And I'm not really too sure with Dembele if his idea was ever to come to Chelsea in the first place. And one of the things that worries me a little bit at the moment from what I'm seeing, and I'm going to let it play out because it's still very early doors, is are Chelsea being used for other teams to negotiate better deals for them? I'm sorry, other players to negotiate better deals for themselves. Players. We were very heavily linked with this guy, and I do want him, but I don't want him if he doesn't want to be here. And yes, he has that link to Thomas Tuchel, but I don't know. It makes it hard because Sterling coming to Chelsea does not just solve the issue. We need more than Sterling. You lose Werner and Ziyech goes. Lukaku's already gone. That's 3 forwards, guys. Who's left? Hudson-Odoi, Mount, Havertz, and who? Sterling gets thrown into that mix. You still need a good 1, maybe possibly 2, dependent on who you keep. Because Broha's an interesting one at the moment. Does Broha stay at Chelsea? If he does, then you can throw him in the mix as backup for Kai Havertz, potentially. But then you look to bring in another inside forward. And that's where maybe Rafinha could happen. Richarlison could happen. There's a lot of, there is options there, but I don't know. Like, I'm a big fan of Rafinha, but I'm just not 100% sure. Pulisic is another one. Is Pulisic going to stay? Is he going to go? Does he want to be here? I don't know. It's interesting stuff. Guys, we've got over 108 viewers. Sorry, 115 viewers on Chelsea Fan TV at the moment. Big up to every single one of you guys. This is the first ever GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV collab show, which we'll be doing throughout the summer window. We'll be bringing breaking news. We'll be going through transfers. We'll be going through, as it happens, we'll be going through it. We'll also be opening up the lines. We'll have special guests coming on. We have a panel, which we're going to be opening up the lines to soon, coming on as well. So there's going to be a lot going on. Ignore my connection. Lucky enough, it's held to this point, even though I've only got one bar, to be fair, which is slightly annoying. I'm going to have to work that one out at a later stage. But in combined, we've got over 300 of you guys here. On the GNA TV side of things, we've got 91 likes, 207 of you guys here. Guys, let's get this over 100 likes. Come on, GNA TV community, let's do that. If you ain't hit the like, please do so. Subscribe to both channels, GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV. And let's try and move forward together on this. So we'll have to see what happens with Dembele soon. But however, staying on him very quickly, there was this last comment here about being given the ultimatum. He has to make his decision. And maybe probably falls in line with what Fabrizio Romano has said today with Moussa Sissoko being in Barcelona to discuss his future. Going to be interesting times. And I do feel that this week for Chelsea fans is going to be more of a clarity week. We're going to get more certainty of where we're going and what we're doing and where we want to be with this. So I think we just need to be patient. I understand why some fans are slightly pulling out their hair and are slightly worried about certain certain links and whatever else. I get that. Yeah, someone just sent me a link to something else, but sorry, yeah. But I think we just need to be patient, and there's so much that I still think is going to happen in such a short space of time, and we've got no choice other than to just foresee it and give him time. Give him time to show us his ideas. Where are they going with his football club? So that we can be more confident as fans, so that we can trust at the moment. It's hard to trust because we don't know where we're going at the moment. We know that lots is happening, and I want to trust Tuchel and Boehly fully 100%. But we need to see how this summer window goes, and it's going to be very key to see what happens. Obviously, big up to the Football Terrace. Make sure you go and check them out as well. Terry Flewers. He had Ben Jacobs on, and Ben Jacobs, who has been on GNA TV already, we're trying to see if we can get him on over here as well, says that Raheem Sterling is prepared to go back to London, and Chelsea are very confident in agreeing personal terms with the player. Sterling is an interesting one because I know a lot of Chelsea fans are not keen on him. I know a lot of Chelsea fans are not sure. Window closed on the 1st September. I'm relaxed is what CCPS Lord is saying. I wish everyone was like that, bro, but not everyone can be that. Chelsea, the King's player, says Leao has 150 million release clause against his name, euros. That's too much, bro. That's too much. How long has he got left on his contract, Chelsea, the King's player? That'd be interesting to know. We want Neymar, we want Dembele, Boehly signs, St. Maximin, Richarlison. Go AM's just absolutely killing the Boehly's and the Tuchels already. Pulisic will leave this summer. Apparently they're all leaving. But that's the one thing I will say. I don't see them all leaving. Werner and Ziyech leaves, and I think Pulisic stays. But we'll have to see what happens. Going back to the poll that I put out earlier, 70% of people want De Ligt at Chelsea, 30% do not. So they are happy to see De Ligt come for 55 million cash, roughly, and Werner the other way. So interesting poll there as well. But quickly going back to Raheem Sterling before we open up the lines as well. Raheem Sterling is an interesting one because I'm not his biggest fan. I genuinely ain't his biggest fan, but I see a player that kind of could suit what Tuchel's doing here. And why I say that is because I feel like he's very versatile. He has the outputs. The third highest goal scorer from a forward in the Premier League. 117 goals, correct me if I'm wrong, with 77 assists just in the Premier League. His injury record, which we went through yesterday with Con, was very limited. He's only missed 25 games since 2012 and 13. That is a big thing for me. When you think about the amount of games that he plays for Man City, it makes a lot of sense why we would entertain a player of Raheem Sterling. The problem you have with it is you can't just get him. You can't just get him. And bringing him in and just having him with, I don't know, say say Pulisic stays and Mount and Havertz, I don't think entirely solves everything. I think we need direct forwards. What Sterling will do is something that none of our forwards have done last season. When we're playing at home and we're getting frustrated the hell out of because we can't break teams down, Raheem Sterling will be that player who will break the lines. He's direct, he's quick, good with the ball at his feet, and he does score. All right, he has missed chances. All right, he's sometimes goes missing in games. But when you look at the guy's overall performances since he's been from Liverpool to Man City, his outputs are there. And his performances are there. And if Chelsea can negotiate a good deal for Raheem Sterling, it makes no sense not to get Raheem Sterling. That's what I'm trying to say. It generally makes no sense not to get him. Gnabry is a good player, but are we going to get Gnabry? Would Gnabry come to Chelsea? I'm not too sure 100% on that. What are you guys talking about in the chat? See, he's all talking about something. Good chat, guys. Have to go. Big up to Boogeyman. Take care of yourself, bro. Nice to see you in the house as well. I am going to release the link because I did promise you guys on the hour mark that we'll get you in for the next half hour. The link is in the chat for all. Should be for all. There we go. So there you go, and there you go. If you want to come in, have your say, please do so. It'll be interesting to get your thoughts on all the topics, whether it's Petr Cech, Sterling. How confident are you guys of this window? Can you see Chelsea making 5 to 6 signings? I'd like to feel that we can. I do. I'd like to feel that we can get it done. But it's going to be interesting to see. It's definitely going to be interesting to see. We'll start off with Tobago. Tobago, what are you saying, my man? How are you? Welcome back.
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad. So how are you feeling about the topics we spoke about? Petr Cech. You want to talk about Petr Cech? You want to talk about... What do you want to talk about? Tell me. Tell me what you want to talk about.
To be honest, about Petr Cech, yes, I'm sad about him going. But again, if he wanted to leave, we should just let him go. So I'm seeing a lot of our fans are not patient with our new owners, saying well-signed players and stuff. It's still early.
Not really, mate.
Well, Rodrigo, let him finish. Is he finished? Tobago, you finished?
Yeah, let him speak.
Yeah.
All right, Rodrigo, go on. You wanted to answer that, so respond to it. Go on.
We can't all be here drinking the Todd Boehly Kool-Aid. So I've got a few things to say about this guy, right? So he bought the club for £4.2 billion. He must have had a board before buying this club. So I'm a bit concerned that he didn't get his people in before. It seems like some of these moves, the Marina and then now this Petr Cech one, it seems like it's just happening on a fly. Like, what didn't he have a structure before buying Chelsea? Didn't he know who's going to be a director of football before? So it seems like he's just making this up as he's going. Why didn't he talk to this Michael Edward or Mitchell, whatever his name is, before buying the club? Didn't he have like a short list and having people in place already? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm still waiting. I don't really care about all these checking all these people. I'm still waiting for that first signing. I'm worried. To be honest, I've got flashbacks of those years that we messed up in the transfer.
Yeah, but you need to move that. I'm not. I mean, look, we have to move that mindset for a second because we're not under the Roman era anymore, and we have to give it the opportunity. We can't sit there and look. I get the natural feeling towards it because that's what we're immune. That's what we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing our football club leave things to the last minute and potentially maybe not even getting things done. But I do feel things will get done. It's just who is it? You know, who is it that we're going to get? You know,
yeah. Just to end, I feel like I don't really. I think the Petr Cech one, fair enough. I feel like Tuchel, play this game. I think it's like a Game of Thrones power grab, Tuchel talked to Boehly, seduced him, told him, listen, because Boehly, obviously, I don't know he knows that much about football, like the play. Like, obviously, he knows about business side. I don't think he knows like tactics and all that. It's probably start with Tuchel. Tuchel told him, like, listen, these are things work. These are things should work at normal football club. And then maybe just like, maybe they met in Ibiza over a few drinks. Yeah, told him like, yeah, you need to make me the manager here. I need to get more power. So well done to Tuchel. I think he deserves it after all these years, all these Chelsea managers that went through the mud. So he's the one to reap the rewards. So there you go.
Yeah, sorry, I just go AM just cracks me up in the chat, man. Some of the stuff he comes out with. Yeah, I hear you, Rodrigo. I do hear what you're saying, mate. It's going to be interesting to see. We have got David here as well. David, how are we doing, my man? How's it been?
I'm good. We haven't spoken in a long time about things, to be fair. So
I know, mate, and a lot's happened at Chelsea. So I'd like to know, what your overall thoughts are on everything at the moment. So,
I'm quite positive about everything. I can see what Boehly's trying to do with the way that he's doing things. So I'm not too fussed about the timing of it, because like pre-season hasn't even started. You want to sign a player and him just sit in London for a couple of weeks. Like there is really no rush. It's been about 2 odd weeks since the transfer window opened, so I'm not too fussed about that. Again, it's interesting because like Marina's left, but she's not officially left, and Cech's actually left. And I personally just want to see what his ideas are with what he wants to do at the board level. Because I've said it for a long time. I think our board and especially our scouts are just not good enough, because we can't keep analysing these players that we buy, and then every time we buy a striker, we all are convinced that he's going to fail. That's just poor scouting. It has to be poor scouting. We can't constantly sign new defenders and sit there and be like, oh, we don't know about this and that, where other clubs are signing players and going, at absolute worst, they'll be good. That's what I feel like when Man City or Liverpool sign a player. I feel like their fans are like, he won't be bad. He may not be the best that we've ever seen, but most of them sign a player and go like, oh, he'll be good. I want to be at that level of confidence. And again, the way that Boehly does things, it's like it should be like more data driven. That's the way I think I'd personally run a football team. So I'm quite happy with it.
All right, so you're a bit like, I kind of share the same thoughts as you, to be honest. I feel like we do need to be patient about it, and the decisions that he's made are big decisions. And some people say, well, we've not done much, but getting rid of Romelu Lukaku in 4 to 5 days because Thomas Tuchel and himself, Lukaku, didn't want to be here, is pretty impressive. And the fact that he negotiated that as well, all right, we didn't earn much from it, but we wasn't really, was we, on the basis of how we had to get rid of him in the first season. But you look at everything else that he's done, and they are big steps. Marina going, Bruce Buck, leaving, Petr Cech today, pulling out. I do feel there's a plan in place. I do feel that there's some sort of idea of where they want to go with this. And I feel they would have already had conversations with a potential sporting director that maybe is more comfortable in coming in. Maybe it's just the finer measures, like talking about the finances and getting them across and things like that. But I do feel that there is a patience game that needs to be had here. And I think this week is a big week because pre-season starts next week. So we need, David, we need to see at least that 1 or 2 signings, right?
I could see 1 or 2 signings by the end of the week being close, but I don't see anyone like brand new joining the squad. Nothing significant. As
David,
like,
when should I be worried? Because I'm the only one here.
When should you be worried?
Yeah. August the 1st?
2 or 3 weeks before the season starts.
The pre-season starts in 2 weeks.
If by like late July we've signed nobody, then I'd be more worried. But as of right now, I don't see the need to worry, because if you're thinking about it, we've had to get a brand new owner. No one at the club's been allowed to do transfers for the past couple of months because we had to stop because the government told us we had to. And in order for Boehly to enact his ideas, he wasn't going to come in day one and be like, you 3 get out the door right now because I'm not interested. And then I'm going to get these 3 people in. Like most good sporting directors and director of footballs, they're already going to plan for their summer with their current teams. So it would have been hard for him to go like, oh, as soon as day one I come in, you're going to have to do this. It would have been tough anyway.
Just quickly, David, we've got a donation from Go AM here as well. Thank you for donations, David. Do you think our midfield pivot will lack mobility since Mason Milner and Boyd Rice will be holding hands?
I mean,
There's a much fucking waffle that is.
It depends. It depends what we want to play in it. Because I personally, again, I wouldn't play Mount in a pivot because I just think he's a bit too attacking for that role. But if you want to play 4-2-3-1, I think we're gonna need. The bottom line is we need a brand new DM, like an actual like defensive midfielder, some guy who's just like I win the ball and I pass it off to someone else who can do the more important stuff. That's what we actually like properly need. Someone who does that because like Kante can do that, but Kante likes progressing the ball quite a lot, and that can leave holes if you just play him as like a sole DM. It's gonna be for me personally. I would shift out of the 3 and go 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, whichever one you prefer.
If you get Rolls Royce in, If you get the
Rolls
Royce
in.
Me personally with Declan Rice, I have no problem with him in terms of quality of player. That's not my issue. Nothing at all. My issue with him is price tag. And I said it last summer, and no one wanted to listen to me. I'm saying it again this summer. Spending 100 mil on one person when your squad has that many holes in it doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
Well, I hear that. We've got this comment here recent saying that Chelsea target Dembele has not signed anything with another team. His priority is to stay at Barcelona. It's always been his first choice, Dembele, but wants his future resolved in the coming days. So it's looking more and more likely that he could potentially stay at Barca, which doesn't surprise me. It's just funny how we've been twiddled along. Well, Fato's in the back, sorry, I didn't see him. Twiddled along with this news. But we'll go to Matt next. Matt, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah, big up Jem, big up everyone in the panel. Hope everyone's having a good day. This Dembele news, we heard a journalist come out and say that the deal was done, that he signed the pre-contract and he was supposed to, make an announcement as soon as his contract kind of ended. But, now we're hearing different news. I thought it was a done deal from what the reports I heard, but I'm assuming the number one priority is for him to stay at Barcelona. And it's looking like he is staying, according to the recent news, that his priority has always been Barcelona. It's just if Barcelona met his needs, but before Barcelona weren't willing to give it to him. Now I think they realize how good he is, and now they're willing to give him what he wants. So it's going to be difficult. We get Raheem Sterling, who's going to be our second attacker, because I assume we get rid of Werner and Ziyech. So Sterling brings in one. Is the second going to be Rafinha? Is it going to be someone else? I think Dembele would have been the perfect signing. I think Dembele is a fantastic player, but we'll see what happens there. I don't think he's coming to us anymore. I think it's diving off now. What a shame.
How realistic does this look as well? Look at that. Oh my god, I thought that was him in the shirt then.
Wow, that's a nice edit. That's really Jesus Christ. That's good. It looks real. I mean, on Raheem Sterling, I think he's he's a player that comes in and automatically is better than all our attackers. Like him or not, he's automatically come better than our attackers. He's a person.
He ain't better than Mount. He ain't better than Mount.
Well, he's scored more goals than Mount.
He's playing for Manchester City though, isn't he?
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, he comes in and he's relatively better. He's relatively better than all our tech. He comes in and he will automatically kill it. Now the problem is his play style. People dislike the way he plays. That he prefers more the wing. He's a bit of a people say greedy player. I think it's a great sign to get. Someone who's Premier League proven. We've been begging for that for seasons on seasons. So why not grab it for him? £35 million. I was against it, but I think now I'm really looking forward to it because we're getting him on a fantastic deal.
35 million. 60 million.
35 million to 40.
Okay.
It won't be 60.
Plus the 350 grand wages.
Well, we don't know that. Yeah, I mean, it could potentially, but I don't think we will be doing that. To be honest, I think there will be. He will have to take some sort of cut. Minerals, what are you saying, mate?
I'm all right, Jem. Big up on hosting Blues fans.
Yeah.
Up to you, geezer. Nice one. Yeah. Up the Chelsea, up the Minerals FC. Fuck all the haters. Fuck all the Mason Mount haters. Let's have it right. What are we saying? What are we saying then? What are we saying? Talk to me, man. I mean, for me personally, Sterling is all right. He's good, but he doesn't elevate us, bruv. He doesn't elevate us. He's better than Werner. He's better than Ziyech. Anyone's better than that cement-booted fraud. So, yeah, he's better than him. But he ain't better than Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is the number 9. He can't play false 9, Sterling, so he'll play left or right, and he ain't better than Mason Mount in that front 3. So, as far as I'm concerned, he's a good addition, but you need a Dembele or a Neymar you need someone else who can make something out of nothing, because Sterling holds onto the ball awfully a lot. He's playing in the most complete Premier League side and has been for the last 5-6 years. So he's sort of like downgrading, not disrespecting Chelsea, but he's downgrading a bit. You know, we're rebuilding at the minute. So I'm a bit concerned about his hunger. He wants reassurances that he's going to play. If you're playing this current system and you're going to play the front three, then all you're left, you're basically playing Mount. That's a given. And Kai Havertz will be a false nine. So where does Dembele and Sterling and Cho and Pulisic all get in this current system? If you bring in the Declan Rice, then you can drop Mount into the midfield three, and then you've got three positions to play with. But again, like the gaffer's already said, he's moving away from that sort of traditional number 9. So for me, Kai Havertz is your false 9. He's your guy. He will bang next season. Anyone doubting him, you need to check yourself. And then either side is going to be a case, if it's Sterling, Dembele, then what's going to happen? Pulisic is going to cause up a stink like he has this season, and he's not happy. Cho's not going to get the minutes. And you need, like, for me, I just feel like Sterling's a good player. He's a good player. He's experienced. He brings Premier League pedigree and all that. But it's him alone.
You need more.
Is not enough.
You need more. Is that what you're saying, Johnny? You
Well,
need to have more around him, or...
clearly, yeah.
Yeah.
But he's all right, man. Listen, he's a very frustrating player. I think he's frustrating. I know a lot of people rave about him, and he scored a shitload of goals. But he's playing in a team that creates a shitload of chances, and his conversion rate ain't that great. So at Chelsea, the way we are now, we're not going to create as much as Manchester City. Is he going to be able to put in the work and show the hunger?
Well, in the last 4 seasons, Johnny, he's had 30 plus goal assists for Man City. So he does contribute.
But it's Man City. It's Man City. Like, you know, they are clear as day the best team.
No,
and
but I think
look at the players he's got around him.
They're like 5-yard passes, those assists, most of them. They're not like wow assists where he threw ball and that. They're just like square ball around the box.
What I'm saying is, though, right, with Sterling, I feel what you get from him is more directiveness. Something I don't think we actually have. Someone that can dribble in tight spaces, someone that can, when you're playing against that low block, try and just stretch them, go behind with his pace. And I don't think we have any of that. I don't genuinely think we have someone that can maybe unlock defences. And I feel, I'm not his biggest fan. I genuinely ain't. I'm not his massive biggest fan.
I think a lot of Chelsea fans are.
I do see what he brings, and if we can negotiate with 40 mil for Sterling, I'm taking it. I'm sorry.
40 mil for Sterling is a good deal.
Anything more than 40 mil, I ain't touching him with a barge pole.
and also, the other 45 mil is not a bad deal.
Yeah, this winds me up. Is that obviously Jesus is going to Arsenal, all right, for what, 45 million?
50,
something like that.
50.
Yeah, and we're going to go and shell out another 45 million on Sterling. I mean, fuck's sake, Man City now can go and buy argument's sake, Joao Felix, right? Or they can go and get a couple more players.
That's what happens when you're successful. You can sell players for more money.
But we've been successful. We won the Champions League, didn't we?
But not as successful as they've been. They're not. One of the things that makes City so good is that they are just so consistent year in, year out, because that system is just like, it's bulletproof. It's almost bulletproof. The way
but you got also, David, bruv, like the amount of money that Pep spent is ridiculous.
But I get that. But because of the amount of like goals and assists all those players get, none of them just considerably drops in value. Like it doesn't happen. And we are one of those clubs that we need forwards. And for me personally, when you're looking at the forward market right now, if you can get Sterling for 40 mil, I think that's a great deal.
Yeah, 40 mil's all right. 40 mil's all right.
Even if it went to 45 mil, I still think that'd be a good deal.
Yeah.
Sterling is
anything higher than that. No.
Sterling is a better player than Gabby Jesus. He is. I don't think that's a question. I don't think
if it's anything over 45, do we go for Rafinha then? Because that's what I would do. If it's anything over 45, then we might as well go for Rafinha.
I don't think Rafinha for 60 mil is a good deal, personally, because he's not proven at that level. Rafinha is
that's more of a risk.
He's a good player. He's a good player. But these players that transfer over from like a Leeds team to a Chelsea team, the transfer doesn't always go as well as it can do. Whereas Sterling is proven at Liverpool and at Man City he can perform at that level. So get someone in who you know guaranteed can do A, B, C, and D, And then if you want to go on a gamble, then you can gamble. But I don't think Rafinha is the guy you gamble on. My gamble guy is Dembele.
Yeah, but we're not going to get him.
That's the gamble you want to get.
Yeah.
I think Sterling's using Chelsea to get a better deal at City.
They are, but most players are doing that from what I can see at the moment.
mean,
That's what's frustrating me at the moment.
I think he's using Chelsea so that he can get some reassurance from Pep. Like,
look at the Jules Kounde one. You know, the Jules Kounde one's frustrating from our perspective when you think about it, because now they're asking for €80 million full release clause. No wonder Chelsea ain't. But I don't blame us again. Why are we going to do that? We offered them 50.
We have till July 5th. I think Gemma saw Vince said that we have till July 5th to sign him, or after that, then they're just going to keep him and put him in pre-season.
Why do you think Dembele's dead in the water, bruv? Why are you so like?
No, it's not like he's dead in the water. Rafinha's not going Barca if Dembele stays. That we already know. So if Dembele is leaving Barca, then Rafinha will go to Barca, and Chelsea will probably get Dembele. But at the moment, from what we're hearing, we're only going what we're hearing, Johnny. We're being told that it looks like Xavi loves him. Barca have given him a contract, and he's willing to work with that. Moussa Sissoko is in Barcelona now, from what Fabrizio Romano said today, negotiating, this contract. So
yeah, but that could also get a better deal with us.
Maybe we might last minute go there, you go bang, and it might change it. You're right, that can happen. You know, it's not over yet.
That put Chelsea in a great position. Like if Rafinha doesn't happen, then we can go for Rafinha with less bidders, so we get Rafinha on the cheap, or we get Dembele.
I don't think we'll get him cheap. Leeds won't sell him for
Arsenal.
less.
Arsenal's still
no,
going
but
from
I mean,
Tottenham
if he doesn't get the move to Barca, you take out Barca out of the equation, and there's less.
We're still fighting with Arsenal and Tottenham. We're still going to fight with Arsenal and Tottenham. They're wanting him, and it's 60 million Leeds are asking for. So a 12 pays that gets him pretty much. 60,
I don't
if
that's
see
the case,
Conte
then
wanting him.
what's her name? That Grimes bird. She's in the fucking mud, isn't she?
You had to say.
I don't get that whole. I don't know how people all of a sudden started treating transfer rumors as like gospel. We're known for so long that it's just rubbish.
Yeah, I agree.
It's all talk.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying, Declared. Listen, guys, we're going to come back to Declared in a second. But at the moment, we've got on GNA, we've got 250 viewers here. Let's get to 150 likes, guys. Chelsea Fan TV, we've got 130 watching at the moment. Big up to you guys over there as well. Make sure you get these likes up to 150 as well, guys. And subscribe as well if you can on both of these channels. Declared, like, what's your thoughts on Petr Cech, mate? I've not spoke to you about that. Like, what's your thoughts on the whole Petr Cech thing?
I was a little surprised, but I understand it. I think in everyone's concerns, the greatest thing we're doing, we're actually cleaning house. And I think these were all Abramovich's personnel, Bruce Bach, Marina, and especially Petr Cech. So in order to put a whole new hierarchy in from top to bottom, this is what had to happen. So if he's going to bring a technical director in, I think this was almost necessary. So we're having a change. It wasn't just a change of ownerships. We're having a change from top to bottom, and then also, I mean, Lukaku's gone. Looks like Ziyech almost out, and this the Ligt deal with Werner involved probably would be one of the best deals out there if it goes through. Those three players were people that had to go, and there's a lot of players that have to go, and I think it's what we wanted. There was a lot of problems. There was a lot of problems with the wage bill. Everyone complained about transfers. In the last, 5 seasons, we probably had real bad transfers, and the amount of money we paid for them. We had a wage bill close to Man United, second highest in the EPL. We had major issues, and so I think maybe we should look at the best business as outgoings rather than waiting, for ingoings.
Well, the biggest outgoing was getting rid of that fucking cement boot fella.
And it was great that
they've done that pretty sharpish.
It was great that it happened straight away, because if that link kept lingering, we would have kept asking a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, right? Because this is coming from what they call a tier 1 Barca source. It's basically saying that Barcelona have now tabled a new offer to Dembele, which is even lower than the last offer. The player has until Thursday to respond.
This is what I'm saying, Jen.
What's going on?
This is what I'm saying.
It's believed that he will accept and stay at the club. They still think he's going to accept that. is what they're
You've got to
saying.
understand, yeah, that this is an up and down cycle. It literally is.
100%. Yeah.
And nothing's going to be cemented until what, the 4th of July? Is that, or 2nd of July, when his contract actually officially ends, right?
Yeah.
So this is only going to help him, if they're going to push this, to help him get a better deal at Chelsea. I think he's going to come to Chelsea. I think he wants to play for Tuchel. I think Tuchel's spoken to him, and I think it's a very good chance. But it's still sort of 50-50, I reckon. If Barcelona are offering not what he wants, and he's not going to stay there, is he? Let's be real about it. He'll come to Chelsea because I don't think there's another club after him.
Maybe
and
that's
Tuchel's the best manager for him, bro.
Maybe that's want to play wing back here.
He's not going to play wing back. He won't play wing back. No.
He can't play wing back. He can't.
He was trying to get Rafinha to play wing back, but not Dembele.
I think.
Hey, but
Dembele
John,
wants
isn't it
to stay at
concerning that
Barcelona.
it's actually going to be money motivated? His choice?
Not necessarily, because you got to remember it's a free transfer. So when
but he's holding out for
power,
who's going to pay him the most. And
No,
like
if Barcelona matches his
listen, let's
needs,
have it
he'll
right.
stay at
If
Barcelona.
Dembele was on the market, all right, in a 3-year contract, and you wanted to go and sign this player, you'd have to pay in excess of 100 million easily. So,
my impression when the whole Dembele rumors started, remember, he was having a falling out. He actually came out and said that there was problems there. I actually thought he actually wanted to leave. So which his next club wasn't going to be Barca, but now it's come out. He's had his great year and he actually wants to stay, and it's like he wants to stay at a certain price, and if it's not met, then he goes elsewhere.
Yeah, but
so
money. Listen, the money game is the motivation for these players. A part of it, as well as the sporting aspect and the ambition aspect. I think if he stays at Barca, he stays at Chelsea, I think he's going to do well whichever club he chooses. I think he'll do very well.
Johnny, are you confident in Jules Kounde or not?
Yeah, I am. I think this is all a bit of a circus for me. I mean, Fabrizio, no disrespect to him, because he's a bit of a tapping merchant. We know that, but last year in the summer, he was giving it so large about the personal terms are agreed, it's all done. It's not quite here we go, but it's there. And I'm thinking we're expecting it to go through that window. Then it didn't go through, and he's saying the same crap now. And it's getting recycled over and over and over again. Sevilla are obviously going to use the brown envelopes to a degree to push out and get a better deal for them. And obviously, I think the way I look at it is Kounde does want to play for Chelsea Football Club, and he does want to come. But Barcelona don't have the money, and I think it's a domino effect with everything. For example, if Dembele does come to us, or let's say for argument's sake they sell De Jong to Man United, and they get fees, finances freed up. That could be a case where they could top up Dembele's offer and keep him, and they can obviously get Christensen, Alonso over the line, and certain players. It's all a domino and knock-on effect with these transfers. Likewise with, let's say Salah goes to PSG, I think Neymar goes somewhere. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's all timing in this window. It's all timing, but it's at the end of the day, it's about money. And if Dembele, for me, you're buying not only potential, but for me, what adds it. If I was buying him and Tuchel had no relationship with him in the past, and I'd be very worried. I'd love his potential, but I'd be concerned. But for the fact that Tuchel has brought him through, knows his ability, knows he can develop him to the next level, that excites me more, and that's why I want him badly, because I think he offers us something that we haven't got at all in the front line. Even if you bring in Sterling, then Dembele still offers you something else.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Let's go to Fatal. Are you there, bro? What are you saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What are you saying, man?
The Petr Cech news here, I don't find it very shocking, with all due honest, even though he's our legend, what he's done for Chelsea since 2019, that he came into the club as a technical football director. And yeah, man, I just think this is a bit of domino effect after Marina Granovskaya resigned from the club. And the fact that Todd Boehly giving him an option to whether you leave or stay, I'm not that surprised at all, even though he's our legend of the club, and with all due respect, after he leaves the club, and he still be without legend, not without further doubt. But yeah, it'll be interesting as well what the current structure of Boehly could be look like. And I wonder who he's appointed the new football director though. That's what I'll find out. I want to find out. But yeah. I think we'll see lights at the end of the tunnel at the moment. But yeah.
Well,
I
it's no
mate.
surprise Buck got sent down because obviously he's not the chairman anymore. It's Boehly now, yeah. So that's inevitable. Marina shed blood on her hands for a lot of things, especially Lukaku. If it's true that she wanted to keep him or give him another chance or was reluctant to try and get a deal for Boehly, then Boehly said, you can jog on. And he's done that.
Yeah.
I don't quite believe that Petr Cech, I know he had that Soccer Aid interview where he was like, we can get the best out of Lukaku next year. But you got to understand the context and the timing of that. The timing of that was early this month, all right? He's not going to go out and say, yeah, we're going to sell him and this and that. It just doesn't work like that. So I don't think that Cech would have agreed
Johnny, don't you believe
to keep Petr Cech. Hold on. I don't think he would have. I think it's taken out of context to fit the narrative that he's gone. But I personally think that he's just gone because the new director of football is coming in and Cech maybe just doesn't want to just step down. Maybe he's had a taste of being in that position and he wants to stay in that position. So that's understandable. There's no, exactly. And it's nothing. There's no disrespect. It's not disrespect to him, and I think fair play to him. Go and do your thing. But I don't believe what the brown envelope's saying that he was forcing to keep Lukaku to the new owners. I don't think he'd do that. I just don't think he would. It doesn't make sense. And that interview that he had was just him playing the game to keep the value of the player up. End of.
Yeah. No, I hear you, mate. I hear you. Nippon, what are you saying?
I'm good. I just had this gut feeling that we would have actually bottled this deal somehow. Marina, I'm happy she's gone. I'm kind of gutted that Cech has gone. I mean, given the fact of the connection he has to our club. But yeah, I just didn't think it was the right thing to continue with them after the sources came out saying that they both wanted to keep Lukaku. So yeah, glad Marina's gone. Kind of gutted that Cech.
Hear you. What about the how confident are you as a Chelsea fan in the transfer window? Do you think that we'll start bringing in players? Are you confident?
Cautiously confident. I'm not going to say, yeah, we're going to sign everyone and then look like the fool come first day of the season. But yeah, we'll bring in some players.
Fair enough. What would you deem as a good window for Chelsea? How many players would you think we'd need to sign to actually have
a midfielder, two defenders, and another attacker?
Fair enough. I would probably say two defenders. If we get rid of Werner and Ziyech goes as well, and Lukaku's already gone, then I'd say we might need 2 or 3. I'm not joking.
So what is everyone's happy with Kovacic, Kante, and Jorginho for another season?
No, but what I'm saying to you is that we've been forced into different priorities.
In terms of priorities, midfield is currently at the bottom.
Well, I don't think it is. I think where everyone misconstrues that is Tuchel and Boehly have been forced because of the rat behaviour of Rudiger and Christensen leaving us in the lurch like that and fucking us over throughout the season. And Lukaku being another one. Ziyech is a stinker and he wants to go. Werner's open to leaving. So you have to replace those players as well as address the midfield. So naturally that is a priority because you've lost positions of first team places. But I wouldn't say that the midfield is the last priority. I think it's an absolute priority.
No,
because
it's the last priority, because
Jorginho
you
might
can't-
go.
You can't not fuel the team. You can't go into a season with 2 attackers because you wanted a brand new midfielder. Well, the reasons
you're
for
going to
I'm not
replace them,
talking-
is what I'm saying.
I
You're going to
understand.
replace
I
them.
understand. I understand our midfield needs improving, but like we currently have 2 centre backs, and we currently have like 4 attackers who we quite confident will do nothing. Like our midfield's not amazing, but we know it will contribute something. It may not
Where
be.
you
His
win and
numbers
lose
there.
games
It
is
may
your
not be
midfield,
there.
though.
It may
I'm
not
sorry.
be Premier League.
It's where
it may
you
not
win
be,
your
it
win
may
and
not
lose
be
games.
Premier League winning title next season, but in terms of our forward line, it is literally like mid-table to bottom table forwards in terms of like their outputs. And our defense is like it's poor because there's just not enough people in it.
We don't have anyone. We have to fill
Yeah,
the
I'll,
spots in
I'll
before
tell
we
you what
go
it
for
falls
who
on,
we want.
David. It will fall on Jorginho and Kante's contract discussions. Whether I don't think Tuchel will want to get rid of Kante, but I think Jorginho is the one that he out of the 2 would let go. And if he does let go of Jorginho, obviously it's inevitable he's going to go for Declan Rice. I think we're still going for Declan. It's clear
What
we're
about
going for Declan
Savic
Rice.
from Lazio? He seems
Yeah,
like
but he's not
someone.
a
Yeah,
sitting.
Savic,
He's not a 6, is he? He's not
not a
really. He's
sitting-
more of an 8.
He
That's
can
the
play in
problem.
all 3 positions, Johnny.
No,
No,
but
but
he's more
but
in a
it's
midfield
forcing,
3.
It's like forcing Kante to play 6. It's like you can do
Yeah,
it,
man,
but
you
it's
can't
like
do
it's not
that.
something you want. It's not something you want to like be relying on.
Yeah,
I
we've already
agree.
run the experiment with Saul trying to force
He's a
someone
baller.
to-
Don't get me wrong. He's a baller, but the balance won't be right. You still need, obviously, if you bring in Gallagher and Gilmore, you got depth there as well. But
I don't think Gallagher. I don't think Gallagher's like a. I feel
Gallagher's
like,
not a 6.
I feel like
He'll
Gallagher
play
is
up
like
front.
is like a slightly worse Mount.
No, that's.
What do you mean a worse mount?
As in, I feel like Gallagher is a good player, but like he's not. He doesn't provide you with something that you don't already have.
Gallagher's nowhere near Mount's level. He's nowhere near it.
No, that's
It's
what
not
I'm
even
saying.
slight.
So he's like a worse.
So
version of
so
Mount.
how do we fix that midfield problem? Because I don't see Declan Rice coming in this window. And I don't
We
us
can
go
see
back
we got
onto
a lot
Liverpool.
of, you guys just said it, a lot of 8s in our team. I would be surprised.
Can't
Pre-season
play-
games are a little different to what we used to.
So
need
do we
Gilmore
force an
then,
8
won't
to a
you?
Can't
6?
play 3/8s, unfortunately. We do have
So
to.
do we have to
You're
force an
going to
8
play
to a 6?
Gilmore. You'll have to rely on Gilmore.
You can't
We'll have
play-
to see how he plays in the
you
preseason,
can't
but I
play-
don't think he
you
succeeds in the
cannot play
preseason. For him to
Gilmore
stay.
as
He's
a
not ready.
as a lone 6 when he was struggling at Norwich last year. Can't.
Well, he's struggling. Norwich, a shit team, aren't they?
Yeah, I get that, but like
He's got
you're
crap
struggling
players
at
around
Norwich. You're struggling at Norwich.
No, but Norwich were fighting a relegation battle
Yeah,
start of season.
No, but you can't confidently sit there and go like, "Oh, our midfield is our highest priority thing," and then sit there and be like, "Yeah, but we got Billy Gilmore who can play." Like Billy Gilmore's he's another good player, but like as of start of next season, he's not good enough to be your starting 6.
Well, Ampadu's another one
Listen,
that gets
I will
spoken about
say
as well.
this, yeah. I'll say this, Gilmore.
Is Ampadu centre back
is-
or DM?
Listen, Gilmore
Yeah.
for me is the one player closest to Jorginho, right? If you had that midfield of Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho, Gallagher, Gilmore is the closest to Jorginho, all
We'll
right?
give him for Spurs.
And what with
We'll
who?
give him Spurs team.
I don't care about Spurs, bruv.
Yeah,
Spurs are
no,
below
but
us.
we're competing with them for top 4. We have to care about them.
We're not competing with them, bruv. Don't be
Yeah,
silly.
not a top 4
On
team.
paper, they have a better team than us
On
right
paper,
now.
yeah, on
On paper,
paper,
they're
they
better
got
team
Harry
than us.
Kane and Son on paper, and where have they been for the last 4 or 5 seasons?
They've
Fuck
just
all,
signed
nowhere.
Basuma. Anyway, they've
Yeah,
on
good.
paper they've got
Basuma's
better
their
players.
level,
We'll
yeah.
see
It's
how
not
they
Chelsea
do.
level.
I'm not saying they're
Basuma's
better
not
than us,
Chelsea
but
level.
they're not better than us right now. But on paper, they've got a way bigger squad than us
On
right now.
paper, they got a smaller
You're
squad than us.
underestimating Tuchel, man.
That's what you guys got to think
Yeah.
of. We are feeling a 25-man squad especially this season, and there's
we've got
probably more
we've got
going.
5 subs as well. Don't
Yeah,
forget that.
5 subs, a World Cup. We're not feeling a first 11 only. We're feeling a 25-man squad. That's where Tottenham lacks as well. So you got to look at that on paper. But that's what's more important now, because when you see all the players you guys have been talking about, and Barkley could want to leave. We did lose some other players, so we'll probably bring a lot more youth in. So it's about filling our whole squad, and that's why I think those pre-seasons are important, because Tuchel's going to test a lot of players and say, well, I can have this guy in my squad, and then throw money at the positions we need. And I think
Well,
that's
he's got to
why
assess-
maybe
he's
there's a
got to
delay in our
assess the
transfer
problem
just
boys,
for that.
isn't he? He's going to assess them all first before we make decisions. Before Boehly and the board make decisions on who they loan out, who they put as part of the. Like, for example, if Brozier's not going to get those minutes that he so craves, and he doesn't want to fight for his place, because let's have it right, he's a lonely player, he's young, he's played at Southampton, but playing at Chelsea is a different ball game. So if he comes back to pre-seasons, puts in a shift, and the gaffer says, "Look, you're second behind Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz is my number one," right? Then he might see a tempting offer from West Ham where he's going to play guaranteed first-team football. He's going to take it. And if that's the case, he's your sweetener for Declan Rice, and you go and get Declan Rice. But that could happen to a lot of players. You know, it could happen to Gallagher.
Like, no offense, Johnny. My one question is, why are you so fixated on just Declan Rice?
Because
I'll
I'll tell you. Firstly, you got no Shermany. Basuma I wouldn't have bought anyway, but let's put all the other options there. Shermany, Kamara, Basuma, Calvin Phillips, they're all gone, right? Declan Rice has always been the top priority. The gaffer loves him and wants him, yeah. But for me, why Declan Rice is so important is he's played, apart from Shermany, all the other players he's played at a high level. He's their captain. He's got leadership. We can play a back, sort of back three, back four. He can slot in as a centre back when we're needed, you know, within the game to help the defence out. You can play Mason Mount in the middle. You can play a midfield three, you can play a midfield two. It basically gives you more options than our current personnel in our midfield.
Very durable as well, Johnny. Very durable. He plays lots of games.
Yeah, he plays a lot of minutes, and he's played a bit of Europa League now, so he's got European experience. He's an England international. He's at a right age to develop. He's going to develop under the best manager, and he wants to come to Chelsea. That's his first choice. That's who wants to come. So for me, he ticks every single box that I look to for when we sign a player, because I'm done with signing these mercenary players like fucking Lukaku, for example, who's just come for the money and sells us a lovely dream and a story, but never delivers. And we all know how that turned out. So obviously, for all the Lukaku stands that called him world class, you're in the fucking mud, aren't you? Really?
Well, I just want to
Declan Rice needs another CDM though. He needs another CDM next to him. He plays in a pivot where he plays with him.
Kovacic, he can play with Mount, he can play with Kante.
But they're not CDMs. He plays in a 4-2 where there's a double pivot of CDMs.
Yeah, that's what he plays in now. But what, you don't think he's flexible?
So who would it be our second CDM? But he did that for England where he played a 4-3-3, and when he played as a lone DM just by himself, no other DM.
You know, he played the 4-3-3 with. He played with Gallagher. He played with Gallagher.
Yeah, and he never played well. He only played well when
Gallagher was too inexperienced
next to him.
No, Gallagher was too inexperienced. He left too many openings in that midfield.
What I'm saying, can he play as the lone DM, because he's been playing Watford?
Who said we're playing lone DM anyway?
So we're going to play double pivot. He needs to have a second CDM next to him.
You just assumed that we're going to play the same way we've always been playing.
Back four. We just played back four.
No, I'm assuming we're going to still play as a back three. We don't know we'll play a back four.
Well, at this moment in time, Alex, you will play that, won't you?
Alex,
you will play that.
I'm not Alex.
Sorry, Matt. Yeah, Matt fella. You're going to play at the minute back three right now with the current personnel you got. But if you bring in a Declan Rice, it changes everything.
Assuming we get out,
changes everything. That's what I'm saying.
But if we do play four, we will have to play a 4-2 with two double pivot CDMs. That's what he's been used to. Yeah. That's what he's been playing with at West Ham for the whole season.
I do. Yeah. No, 100%. I hear what you're saying. Guys, we've got over 420 of you here. Big up to every single one of you that are in here at the moment. I am going to have to finish off shortly, so I've got to shoot out. But Ben Jacobs has just commented here about Dembele, saying Barca sources talking with confidence that Dembele will stay. At no point have Chelsea agreed terms, so it's really his option unless something dramatic changes in the next 24 hours. No truth whatsoever in a late bid from Liverpool. Not interested at all. No PSG offer either. Situation remains the same. Dembele must decide within 48 hours. Chelsea interest is real, but they won't match his wage demands. If a formal offer materialises, it will be higher than the renewal offer. But for now, Dembele only has one choice: sign or be without a club. From Chelsea's perspective, a clubless Dembele gives them a little more leverage. But Barca sources expect him to sign. Definitely talking with more confidence now than last month. If he does, it could also impact Rafinha's move to the Camp Nou as well. So he's made it clear that maybe Chelsea are assuming he might not sign it, and then he just comes free player. So if he becomes, go on.
I was gonna say, like,
Go on.
what is his demands though? What wage demands? Like, how much does he want?
Well, we know he's on a heavy demand of wages. He's taking from Barcelona, I think. Let's have a look. He's taking something
300k, I
stupid.
think it was. I think it was just under 300k.
He wants
Wages.
that signing on fee, doesn't he? That's what he
Yeah.
wants.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
what's the sign on fee?
yeah.
He does.
Of
That's
10
what
mil.
all the free players get. That's their sort of bonus, isn't
He
it?
takes
So-
287,000 a week in sterling.
Yeah, that's
what
not
it
too
says
bad.
here.
270.
287.
Yeah, that's nothing, mate. We're playing Werner 290 for fuck's sake.
Wait,
We
we
paid
but we're not
Lukaku
Roman, we're not
440
under
grand.
I think he wants.
We're not under the
430.
Roman era anymore, Johnny. We're under the
No, I
Todd
know,
Boehly era.
but if you put it in
Yeah.
context, you're getting a free player. You sign it, even if you give him 350 a week. So what? You're getting him
Plus
for
10
free.
As well, he wants.
Is it 287k a week? I thought it was a bit more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's
It
good.
might be.
Listen, and Barcelona
be.
can't even keep that offer. They've lowered that offer, or they've upped it a little
Give him
bit.
saying less than that, yeah.
They're paying
Yeah.
less than that now.
Supposedly,
Well,
yeah.
I think Chelsea are in a strong position then.
Well, again, it falls on him. This is the issue. He needs to want to come Chelsea because that's what Ben Jacobs is saying here. It's more like he wants to stay Barca, even if Chelsea potentially maybe put in an offer that's a little bit more than what Barca are offering in wages. I don't know. At the moment, Chelsea have given him something that doesn't suit him in terms of wages. So unless
Well,
we come back with a new proposed offer,
You've lost Lukaku's
We'll see.
wages of 400 plus. You potentially will lose Werner's wages if we get shot of him. That frees up a lot of money there. Where you
How much
can
is
pay
Sterling gonna want?
Well, he's going to want 300, isn't he? Something like that, surely.
And Christensen
Surely.
wage, Rudiger's wages as well. As small as they might have been, but they're still gone now.
Yeah, but those positions are
Yeah.
going to probably
Yeah, but that's
cost
going to be
more.
for Ligt or a Kounde, for example. You're going to use that there. You're not going to use it in your attack.
well, apparently it's Nathan Ake. I don't believe that.
What?
I don't get a Nathan Ake. Yeah, Nathan Ake.
Well, we did try and sign him before, didn't we? Before he went to City,
why?
we tried to get him.
He ain't a Rudiger
He's a
replacement.
good player.
is he?
We had a
Well, he's
buyback. We
not.
didn't want him.
No, hell
The
no.
Ligt and Kounde is which should be our main priority.
Well,
Maybe
they are the
Ake.
main. They are the main priority, but
If
Boehly
we-
doesn't want to get held
if
to
we-
ransom, does he?
I'd only want to get one of them, personally, because
One or both.
We need
wanna
two,
get one
David.
of- No, I know we need two, but I only want one of those two because I have my favourite centre back.
Who's yours? I wanna
My
know.
guy is Gavardio. That's who I
That's
think.
50 mil.
That's cool.
50, 60
Pay
mil.
50 mil. This kid. When you look at his numbers and when you watch,
Yeah,
him
he's
play,
quality.
they-
He's quality.
They just pop off. They pop off. It's ridiculous.
I thought it was an 80 million release clause on him.
But he's only
I
been
swear
there.
it was high.
Only been there for a year. He's not gonna leave now.
That's
I mean,
cool.
I think
I'll
you're-
take him. I'll take him.
He's only
50
been
mil.
there for a year, innit? Like,
He's 21, 22 years old, isn't he? What is he? He's
Jem,
22, I
young.
think.
Jem, why
Yeah,
wouldn't
but he's a lefty,
Jem,
isn't he?
go on? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Jem,
that's
go
what
on.
we need.
Jem,
Yeah.
If you could go on FB Ref and type in his numbers and just compare them to like Kounde or Ligt, just look at like.
Yeah, but
how
David, you've got to
pops
be
off.
careful with what's it?
I-
Bundesliga
Bundesliga
tax.
tax.
I
Yeah.
get Bundesliga tax. If you want someone who's going to replace Rudiger in terms of he can he can move the ball forward, he's comfortable on the ball, he's left-footed, he can like do cross-field balls. and
They're really
everything.
strong.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
but this guy is. I'll
Well,
tell
didn't
you, I've-
Tuchel wants him, bruv.
Mm.
Tuchel does want him.
my the players who I want are like Gavardio, I want Dembele, and I want Nicolas Dominguez for DM. That's who I think we should go for instead of Declan Rice, personally. Just because I don't like the price
what does
tag
he
attached
pay
to.
for?
I
What is
think
it-
Declan Rice is like a 2-3 years down the line situation because I just think he's too much money, and I don't want to spend
I
the
think
whole
you'll get.
DM.
I think Man U will go in for him.
For
if we
me,
don't.
there's this kid called Dominguez from Bologna.
Oh,
I don't even know who that is, so I can't even talk. To be
Yeah, I
honest,
know
so-
people don't know about him, but I'm telling you that if we were in for him, I'd be so confident in the DM role. Be
So
confident.
just quick, Ben Jacobs also said, because Con asked him, he said, is Rafinha still on Chelsea's radar? And Ben Jacobs said, always on Chelsea's radar. So yes, so I think he's going to be back
we
up.
know
to
that,
Dembele.
Jem. We know that.
But no,
bruv.
but what I'm saying is, I know
know
that, but what I'm saying is, with Dembele potentially not coming to Chelsea, maybe it looks like we're going to revert our attention to Rafinha. Who else is
Mate,
there?
yeah, just
Who else is
with
there? How about
Richarlison.
Yeah.
Richarlison.
You got
no, thank
Richarlison
you.
or Rafinha?
No,
That's the
thank you.
question. You've got it.
Rafinha. Any day of the week,
Exactly.
Rafinha. So Rafinha, Sterling. Premier League proven players. Yeah. Good match.
Depends how much you
But
can
to
get
me,
Rafinha for, though.
they don't listen. I don't feel like they're enough. They're not enough.
You got to bear in mind
Dembele
they're coming
would
with
have been the
they're coming
dream.
into Havertz, they're coming into Mount, they're going to be mixing with players that are.
Yeah, but you're still
good
gonna. My point is, you're still gonna sort of like rely on Mount and Havertz for another season. Like Rafinha is taking a massive step up from Leeds. Let's have it right. Going to Chelsea.
He's a good player, then.
Yeah, you know, it's not. I'm not disputing that, but you've got to wait for him to bed in and all that stuff. And I think I want a big. Boehly's not here to muck around. I think Boehly's going to go and make a big signing.
I know what you're saying.
Neymar.
You're going to say Neymar, aren't you? You love Neymar.
Yeah, I think we're getting linked to him a lot, and there's a reason for it. But no one's sort of diving in it. But yeah, they'll put out nonsense like we're going to try and get Ronaldo, which is bangers and mash. That is never happening.
To be fair, I would like Neymar as well.
Yeah,
Just
who
because-
wouldn't?
He takes 4 weeks off for his sister's birthday.
Get me the name minerals.
The only
played 23 games a season for the last 3 seasons, and you want the guys to come and play in the Premier League.
He doesn't want to play there, man. They're a shit team. He doesn't want to play at a crap club like that.
Season. He's injury prone.
First of all, I'd only take him on loan. That's the first thing. Second of all, I want him there just because our team lacks star quality and someone who just like. If we had Neymar, teams would have to sit there and be like, "We've got to eliminate this guy."
Create something out of nothing,
If he
bro.
plays,
Not reliable like we did under Eden Hazard. We just give him the ball and go on, do it.
Not even that. Just the fact that he's on the field, like, drags teams across. Like, naturally, they'll just drag across. That's going to create more space for all these other forwards who definitely need the more space.
How much is he going to want?
It
It
doesn't even make sense. He's on half a mil.
It's a loan.
How much wages is he going to want, David?
It doesn't matter if he's on a loan. He just signed the contract. It's over 500,000, right? And he's playing. He's conditioned in such an easy league. And just like Jim said, he takes days, matches off whenever he wants. He hasn't had a hard game for ages. When he goes in Champions League, he starts diving. He's going to come in and struggle. Why would he take a pay cut, right, to come to Chelsea, play more games in a harder league? For what?
To win the Champions League for number one, because he ain't winning it at that Tin Pot club. Number two, he's going to come and play for the manager that he loves and respects, and who got the best goals and assists out of that fella for however long Tuchel was there. His figures were ridiculous. Ever since Tuchel left, his whole trajectory just went boom like that. All right.
But he rather sit on the bench.
You got that star boy Mbappe there, who's taking all the limelight now, who's running the club. I think Neymar wants to go, bruv. And I'll tell you this.
They've probably got a team more better suited for the Champions League.
If Salah's leaving Liverpool, PSG will go and buy Salah. They'll go and buy him. They've got all the money.
700k.
But he just signed the contract. It's hard to get rid of Neymar if he doesn't really want to leave. So it's not really up to PSG.
Listen,
it's not
let me clean this up for you. If we can't give Dembele 270 or 80k a week, we're not giving Neymar.
No.
We're not giving Neymar anywhere near 300-400k a week.
Because we're not giving him enough.
Bruv. It's just that they don't want to. They're playing the game.
That's what I'm saying. So why are they going to do it with him?
They'll do the same with Neymar. They'll get a good deal with Neymar.
700k.
If Neymar really wanted to leave, why did he sign a new contract? That's what doesn't make sense to me. He only signed that last year.
This was before he signed the contract. It
was last year, Johnny.
Year ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
so in what 1 year?
Then. Yeah, but things have changed. Look at their manager,
but if he was really up for a challenge,
in the Champions League, bruv. Look at him in the Champions League. Getting knocked out in the round of 16.
Yeah, but he really plays.
The Chelsea, our team is like 3 seasons at least from winning, from being out in our best, peak condition, or best peak players and all the age and all the players in their peak. Right, so we start going for everything. You can say then, why is he going to come to a youngish team, right, when he's 31, and for what? What's he trying to prove?
You know what?
If he was after a challenge, he would have left last season.
No. He needs that, bruv. He needs the Mason Mounts, the Havertzes, the Sterlings around him, right? I'm telling you now. And then you
not
get
Mbappe, Messi, and Salah possibly
with Kovacic, and he's got all the minerals around him to fucking do what he wants, and all the other guys will accommodate him. It's not going to be like Lukaku. Lukaku's a fucking lamppost. He doesn't move. That's even worse. That's playing with 10 men. Neymar ain't playing with 10 men. Neymar is someone who frees up so much space, frees up his teammates just by him having the ball. All right, we need that in our locker. We need that. And I'm telling you
I know,
now,
but I'm not even talking about ability.
One
I'm
thing,
talking
guys.
about what makes sense. Like, first of all,
It
like
does
take
make
money,
sense.
his ambition.
Don't
What about
see
Neymar's point of view?
It's a statement signing by Boehly. It's a marquee signing.
Yeah, but then
It's
you wondered about.
Yeah, but you got to pay
hello,
someone
we've
more
got
to
Neymar in
make
the
him a
Premier
statement
League.
signing.
Come
It's the
on,
same
man.
thing as buying Lukaku. We buy these
No,
marquee
it's not.
signings
No, it's
that
not.
never even work
Lukaku
at
and
Chelsea. Let's
Neymar,
not do that.
fucking hell, Jim. Come on, bruv.
No, I'm
Lukaku's
saying
down
in
there,
terms of,
bruv.
Yeah, but they're
Neymar's
both going to
up
come
there.
for money, right, Johnny? Yeah.
I'm talking about that type
Wherever
of
he goes,
marquee
it's money.
signing that we're trying to stay
Wherever
away
they
from.
go, it's money. Wherever
Oh
they
no,
go,
He's
so
not gonna
how
take
are we
a
meant to
wage
top
cut
what he's
then.
getting now? He's getting over $500,000, right? He's got bonuses out the
Don't
ass.
know
He's
how
the
they do
ambassador
it.
for the
Don't know how
World
they do
for
it,
World Cup as well
Declare.
through that.
They might do a loan. They might pay half the wages or 3/4. Like, you don't know, but I'm saying there is a way you can get them. Maybe not permanently. Maybe it's not going to be a permanent deal, but they're open. From what I've heard in the on the timeline and all that, which is probably nonsense, but they're saying about it could be a loan that PSG are open to, because maybe they want to go away from Neymar now. Do you know what I mean? Maybe they
It
want
just
a
depends who
Salah.
they
Salah.
bring in, Joel. Like if they
They just signed him. It's not even
Geezer, do you know how much they spent on Lionel Messi? Like, they're paying him what, $1 million?
They got money. They got money. They have got
Was
money.
it paid
yeah,
more?
all of
Oh,
them
back
are.
when
How
now.
much can you get away with financial fair play? And we're getting crucified for financial
But
fair
we're Chelsea
play.
Football
And these
Club.
lot are fucking
We're the most
blowing
hated club.
hundreds and
We're
hundreds of
crucify
thousands on these
FPFC.
players up front.
Anyway, guys, I need to get to this donation. Ryan says, if Arsenal get Raf and Tielemans, are they a worry?
No.
Rafinha and Tielemans, are they a worry?
Who?
No,
Arsenal?
it's Arsenal.
No,
Yeah.
It's
because
Arsenal.
they have
Silly.
no one's talking about how they have Europa League football.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they
First
got
time
more
users
responsibilities.
playing.
That will distract them. It just will.
The answer to that for me is no, I don't worry about Arsenal. And to be honest, I don't actually worry too much about Spurs as well. You know, I should do because of what they're bringing in, but I can't. It's Spurs. Like, I just can't
Conte
do
will
it.
be out the door. Conte, if he doesn't get a Bastoni or someone like that in defence, because that's what he's craving at the minute, and Inter Milan won't sell Bastoni. If he doesn't get that sort of player, all right, especially in the defence, I'm telling you now, he won't get his way. They'll get knocked out of the Champions League because that's the sort of club they are. They will get knocked out of the Champions League, probably in the group stages or the round of 16. And then he's going to throw his toys out the pan because they ain't competing anywhere else. And he's going to turn around to Levy and go, you didn't get me this, you didn't get me that. Or in January, I want this player, that player. He's not going to do it. Listen, Levy's not really spent big, has he? Where's he spent big? Tell me.
He's
Well,
played smart, to be honest. Basuma,
he's
that
done some
Swedish
smart
guy.
Yeah, and he's bought
Yeah,
a pensioner Perisic, bruv, in his 33, isn't he?
I mean,
Never
you
played
lot wanted
Premier
him
League
a
football.
month ago. You lot wanted
Yeah,
him
I don't
back
know.
a
Great,
month
well
ago.
done. Yeah,
Son
they're
and-
really
Son
going
and
to change
Kane-
there.
You know, Son and Kane leading the line,
They're
they're always
still
going to be
leaving Bremer
dangerous.
as well.
You know, Kulusevski was a good signing from them from Juventus. They've got some decent players. Guys, we've got 450 of you guys in total here at the moment. Big up to every single one of you guys. We have currently on Chelsea Fan TV 185 live viewers. Only 119 likes though, guys. Let's try and increase that to 150 likes before you leave. GNA TV, we've got 270, nearly 280 live viewers at the moment on here as well. We've got 150 likes. Let's try and close that gap to 200 likes, guys, if we can. I will be back. We will be doing this more often as well. This is something that we will are now doing moving forward throughout the summer, whether it's breaking news, players coming in, special guest panelists. It will all be linked between Chelsea Fan TV and GNA TV at the same time as well. So you'll see a lot more of this, guys. But make sure you share on your socials, smash the likes. Big up to every single one of the people here as well. Check out Minerals FC as well on YouTube. He's got his own channel.
Right.
And check
Yeah,
out
let's
check
have
him
it
out.
right.
as well.
Yeah. Big
Yeah,
up
all-
anyone who wants to support. I appreciate it. Big up.
Yeah,
Jim,
go and
for
check him out. Matt as well, where he's at ZVOII_. Go and check him out on YouTube as well, guys, and subscribe to him. David hasn't got anything. You just see him on the football terrace. So you just see David.
that. David's been mudded by Mason Mount, isn't he? So
But also you are.
but there's no buts. It's yes, Johnny. Please, Johnny. You're right, Johnny.
So
Yeah.
I didn't get money by Lukaku. He didn't want Lukaku.
Who? Me? I never wanted Lukaku, bruv. Fucking hell, he's the last player I wanted.
Yeah, no,
I wanted Haaland all day long.
Yeah,
In
yeah,
fact,
he did, yeah.
I told everyone on Monster Stream 10 months before that we should not buy this player. It'll be a flop. He's going to cost us 80, 90 million. And he can't play Tuchel's he's not the right profile striker. I told everyone that, and they all laughed. No, he's world class. His touch is improved. It's like Iniesta now, and he's going to come and bang, and it's Ron redemption, bruv. Yeah.
Make sure we check out Nippon as well on NS Sports TV, guys, as well. Fator's on everywhere. Twitter, he's on Lewis's channel, he's on GNA TV, he's on Chelsea Fan. You know Fator anyway. The Timo Werner lover who's soon going to have no Timo Werner at his club. So who's he going to be?
Don't worry, you'll find me a block 10. Don't worry, you'll find me a block 10 stuff.
It'll be automatically delete, yeah, because it's.
Oh, and anyone doubting what's his name, King Kai Havertz, you're going to be in the mud next season.
There you go. There you go. To finish off the show, lovely. Anyone that doubts Kai Havertz, you are in the mud. That's what we're going to.
Well, like they doubted Mason Mount, they're going to doubt Kai Havertz, and Kai Havertz is a fucking baller. He's got all the minerals. That kid. Don't ever doubt that kid. He's just turned 23. He's got more Champions Leagues than Mbappe, mate.
Oh my God. Anyway, with that note, enjoy the rest of your day. Smash the like button, subscribe to both channels. We'll be back again very soon. Take care of yourselves. Peace out.